Reflections of Purpose.
Hello, it's Twisted Threads, and we're glad that you joined us today for our Reflections of Purpose. And as always, we get right into the topic. Don't want to waste any of the time. Today, we want to talk about not losing yourself. Topic again, not losing yourself. So I thought it important for us to take a chance to really talk about reflecting on where it is each of us want to go in our personal journeys. And so a lot of us have different goals and aspirations, and we talk about there's more than one way to get to where we need to go. But the important thing is that as we're finding our voice and as we're sharing our story, that we don't lose ourselves in the process. And a lot of times we hear women say this all the time, but it's true for our brothers as well. When we are on a journey to a better version of ourselves, sometimes we may get it mixed up of what is it that we should be holding on to. So we should be holding on to the things that we're passionate about, to our morals and our values, to the things that intrinsically make us who we are. But the challenge also comes because we got to recognize that along the way, there'll be checkpoints. So the same thing when we get closer to holidays, there's always sobriety checkpoints. And that means that there are people who are set up at particular places to check on you and make sure that you're good, to make sure you didn't drink too much, to make sure you're not a danger to other people around you. And we have other videos on our YouTube channel where we talk about accountability partners and the importance of that. And that goes hand in hand when we remember to not lose ourselves, because as we're growing, as we are learning new things, our mind is changing every single day, but we don't want to lose the core of who we are. And so that's the tricky part, because as we're talking about, we want to transform you and help transform you here at Twisted Threads. We don't want you to lose the good things about you. So are you a great mother? Are you a great wife? Are you a great student? Are you a great mentor? Are you a great mentee? Are you always remaining teachable? Because these are things that are going to help you grow in your life, but you also need to have those sobriety checkpoints. So in the checkpoints, when you get an accountability partner, it gives you an opportunity to really have somebody to check in. So if you say you're a writer, are you writing? Do you have somebody who checks in with you? Hey, sis, how are things going with that? If you're a wife, guess what? I got to tell you, you got to have married girlfriends as well as single ones. Why? Because you're going to be able to get wisdom from both. It's often interesting to me that a lot of married folks are like, okay, once you get married, you can no longer have any friends that are single. Well, guess what? Odds are you're going to do it wrong if you just are cutting people off out of your life. But here are two things that allows you a good opportunity to be a mentor to your single sisters, but also for them to be a mentor to you. Sometimes you get busy. Sometimes you get tired. And sometimes you got to be reminded why you want to keep the grass green on your side of the lawn. Because there are challenges that come with being a single woman that not all married women get or understand. But if you've ever been single and gone through some things, chances are you got a story that you can impact and inspire somebody else. The same thing for the singles. Look, don't despise everybody that's married. Maybe you're the last sister in the group that has yet to be married. In some circles, I am. I'm that last one. But I'm loving it, you know, and I don't want them to look, I don't want it to make it seem like it's something where they are stuck, because my married friends are living great and wonderful lives. But then there's a certain portion of that also that I can't co-sign for. So I'm a mother of 5, but also grandmother of 5 so far, or as far as I'm aware of. And the challenge with that is this. I'm a cheerleader for anybody who wants to birth new babies in the world. I've got many people in my circle who are in their late 30s and 40s and close to 50, and y'all still having babies. That is not my testimony. But I support your children. You know, I support you in being a great parent. It just is, I'm not changing any diapers for anyone at any time in my future. And so I love it because my daughter-in-law, when I change diapers, she's like, "Ma, you changing diapers? calm down. It's a temporary thing. This too shall pass. Don't get used to it. But I had to remind myself that in the person that I am today, I don't have to change diapers. Why? Because, honey, I done changed enough. Okay. I've done it all. And then it comes an opportunity that I can give direction, give advice, give support, but I don't have to do it all myself. And so a lot of times when I get with my kids, or especially my grandkids, I lose myself because it's like, oh my goodness, there's so many of them. Where'd all these kids come from? And then I have to remind myself, ooh, they okay for me. Oh. But I don't really remember a lot of the struggle that we had to go through to get to where we are right now. And so I'm enjoying life, but I had to also take an opportunity not to lose myself under the title of just mother, not to lose myself under the title of just friend, not to lose myself under the title of just employee. Why? Because we get the opportunity to understand we're not just any one thing. We get to reinvent ourselves every single day. But the version of you that woke up this morning is a better version, hopefully, than the one that you put to sleep last night. Why? Because you're more insightful, because you've been keeping up on your reflections of purpose and you've been applying them to your life. These things allow you to not lose yourself. Why? Because if you're reflecting on the person who you were yesterday and trying to make yourself better for today, you are preserving yourself. This is better than Botox. This is better than cosmetic surgery. Because why? You're creating an impact in the world that 10 years from now, when things start sagging, and okay, we won't even talk about that. This is making a lasting impression in your life. And that's our goal. It's our objective. It's the reason why we come to you at least twice a week. It's the reason why we're committed to bringing these messages out. Why? Because each step you take, it's not that you're walking further away from the person you were. It's that you're walking further away from the past that kept you back there. Where? Way back there. And there's no returning back to that. Why? Because each step you take, the door closes behind you. And so forward only is a thing that we say often here, because we got to continue to move forward. We got to continue to understand that the things that happened last week, the things that happened yesterday, the things that caused us maybe tears and anguish and sadness, they don't have to be our reality for today, as long as we stay committed to not losing ourselves. And I initially titled this Not Losing Yourself, but you always know I try to remind you that these lessons are for me. We're in this together. That's what family does. So as I say that you're Twisted Threads family, it's because we're moving forward together. So we've got videos that we remind you to forgive yourself for the missteps. We want to make sure that you're not disqualifying yourself. No experience necessary. These are titles that you can go and research and hear about the topics and the insight. And this is just but one small snippet. Look, if I get a group of my sisters even on here and we start talking about the way that we lost ourselves in the past and how long it takes to get back. One of my favorite things I love, and I always talk about superheroes, and there's a newer show that I was watching, and it had time travel in it. And it's like, wow, that's so exciting. Except for, it's a hard-headed kid, and he goes in, and his dad is like, you can't do time travel. And he's like, I can do whatever I want to do. Well, he traveled too far into the future, and there was no easy way for him to get back. This is what happens when you lose yourself. You travel too far away from yourself, and then it takes time away from you loving on your loved ones, because then you got to fix yourself. You got to fix your life. You got to fix the depression that might have come in. You got to fix yourself and heal, taking time to heal from the abuse that maybe you did it to yourself or put yourself in situations where you sacrifice too much. We have all done it. We've all got a story in our past, child. I got a few of them where it was like, oh, I will never do that again. Why? Because it cost me too much. Think about that as you're thinking about how can you figure out how, as you're moving forward, you remember not to lose yourself. Don't lose the best parts about you. And guess what? The best parts about you may not be your hair. It may not be your smile. It may not be anything else except for the way that you love and the way that you serve the people around you and the way that you are kind and generous. And if none of these attributes describe you, well, then make those changes. And so you can be among those people who, in your last days will be able to say, that person was kind. That person was caring. That person gave the world everything they had. It's a memory that call daily about my own mother and how she poured into other people. And it's a legacy that I try to build, not just within me, but for my children as well. Look, remember, don't lose yourself, even as we're moving forward to a better version of you. This is Twisted Threads. I'm glad that you joined us today. Remember to like and share these videos and subscribe to our YouTube channels. As always, make it an amazing day.